Hi everyone, so welcome to this announcement. We just wanted to put out an announcement during the middle of this week so that we could help prepare you ready for our first service this Sunday. So we already know, if you listen to the sermon, that you need to book in. Any service that we hold, we need to be able to book people in so we know and can manage numbers. So if you've not already booked in and you would like to attend this Sunday, then you do need to call Dawn on the number that's below and book in to see if there's any space. So Dawn is managing all the bookings, and that way we've got an idea who's going to be there, and so that we can make sure we don't exceed the capacity. So there's going to be a few things that are going to be different from what we know and how we used to have church, but we're still meeting together. It's going to be wonderful to meet together, and it's going to be really special, but we do need to keep to the rules. So the first thing is 2 metre distancing. We have to really follow this. So that means when you're waiting to come into the church, you need to keep a 2 metre distance from anybody who's entering the church already, or if there's a queue going on. We need to be responsible and keep that 2 metre distance. Upon our arrival, there will be somebody on the door, mostly one of the leaders it will be, and they will be ticking you in when you arrive. So they'll have your name and a contact number for you, and they will check you in for the time that you arrived, and they will check you out when you leave. That's for contact trace purposes. So if somebody did test positive, contact trace can then contact you to let you know that you've been near somebody, and then you would follow those instructions. That information is kept for 21 days and then it's destroyed, and only the leadership know those details, and they are kept in the office where it's locked away. And that avoids everybody signing in using the same pen. It's just easier, quicker and simpler. So once you've checked in, you need to be wearing your mask as you arrive. We have to wear masks whilst we're indoors. That's one of the rules in Wales, so we need to keep our masks on. So have your mask on when you come in. You'll be shown to where the seating is for you or your household. We'll have allocated seating if there's 4 of you, say, or 3 of you. So you'll be led to where you need to be seated. You'll notice then that there's a one-way system if you need to use the toilet, and that's through the back of the bookshop and then to the toilets there. We obviously need to keep a 2 metre distance if anybody else is waiting to use the toilet, and we need to be mindful of who is in the room so that we don't all congregate in there accidentally. Now you need to sanitise your hands as you arrive in the church, and then sanitise your hands if you want to go to the toilet before you go into the toilets. Wash your hands obviously thoroughly for 20 seconds when you've finished in the bathroom, and then when you come out, sanitise your hands again. And this just is mitigating risks with touching handles and everything. All internal doors except bathroom doors obviously will be kept open so we can avoid touching handles and things. And then when you come back through at the top of the church, you need to then come back to your seat. So that's some of the formalities of what we have to do. Now, worship. We are big worshippers, and this is going to be the thing that's probably going to be really difficult for us Pentecostals in Balmathenium Church. As the congregation, we're not allowed to sing indoors, even with our masks on. So the rules are that we can have a worship team of up to 6 at the front, and they can sing. We've got 2, which means we've got Dawn and Susie. Now they will be wearing a visor rather than a mask, and they can worship. The volume will be much lower than we used to, because higher volumes create more aerosol and more droplets, which is what we're trying to avoid. So the volume will be much lower. But us as a congregation, we're not allowed to sing. Now, we can mouth the words, say the words to hymns, songs, or prayers, but we can't sing them out. So you can remain seated in your chair with your mask on, and you can see the words that are going to be on the screen, and you can mouth them, you can sing inwardly in your heart, but we cannot sing out. And that's really important for us to remember. And I know it's going to be hard because it's going to be such a joyous occasion that we can meet together, and it does feel so restricted, but we do need to keep to the rules. We do need to obey the law. So no singing, but you can mouth the words in your mask. Now this is obviously, this Sunday we're having a communion service, so we will be taking communion. It's a really special thing that we can have as believers together, and we're able to do it, and we've looked into all the guidance of how to do this. And so the bread and the juice will be prepared by Dawn, and it will all be done per guidance with sanitised hands and everything as it should be according to food hygiene. Now what will happen is when it comes to communion, obviously the reading will be read out, and then each household or each person, as you are seated, your things will be put onto a little tray and handed to you with an outstretched arm, and you can take yours off, and then you take your communion, and there'll be a bin that you can put those items into. Then they're all disposable, so there's nothing being washed up, they're disposable items. And then obviously you have your quiet time with God whilst everybody has theirs. So that's the communion, and that's the way that we can do it. Now, tithing. We are encouraging people to still tithe by bank transfer or any other online means. However, we do understand some people prefer to use cash. So there will be a basket for tithes and offerings that you can put money into. What we do ask is that you pop it into an envelope, and that way you've got an element of privacy. If it is your tithe and you are gift aiding it, if you pop your number on the envelope, then that will help us identify that. Obviously, all counting of money will be done according to guidelines as well. So there will be that available should you wish to put any money in there. Again, when it comes to exiting, the service will be no longer than an hour. We have to keep it within an hour. And then when it comes to going, there's no congregating. We can't stand around and chat like we used to. It is literally as soon as it ends, we need to be leaving. And again, we need to keep a 2 metre distance as we're exiting. We'll be going back out through the same entrance, and the person on the door will be checking you out at what time you left. So we've got all that for the track and trace purposes. So there will be one-on-one sessions available if you want to see Dawn, but you need to book in for that. These things can't happen on a Sunday anymore, sadly, so they do need to be booked in with Dawn. You would need to contact her, book a time in the diary when you can see her, because obviously she needs to allow cleaning times in between one-on-one sessions. So that's something that has to be booked in. Now, the sermons will be recorded as normal as they have been, and will go out on the Facebook and the websites. So there will be a camera set up, and obviously there will be a recording, but the camera will be on Dawn only as she speaks. Nobody else in the congregation will appear in that recording, so I don't want you to be concerned that you're going to be transmitted around. It will only be Dawn who's on that recording, but the camera will be there. We just wanted to let you know about that. We need to keep the church doors open as much as possible to allow for ventilation, because we don't have any windows. So what we would say is dress warmly. So the church will feel cooler than normal. Obviously, with the doors open at this time of year, it could feel quite cool as you're sitting down. So try and keep warm clothes on so we can allow that ventilation. And then finally, just to reassure you, between each session there will be a cleaning team that will come and clean everything. All door handles, seats and everything get wiped down, so there are cleaning teams. So Sunday is our first one. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be great to be able to see you guys and worship in our spirits together, and to listen to the word. It's going to be really special, and I look forward to seeing those of you who are booked in, and if you haven't, do give Dawn a ring to see if there's some availability left. The services are 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. That will be the same every Sunday, but this Sunday is communion. So bye for now, and I'll see you soon.